Okay, so today we're moving on to multiplying polynomials. What we did last time was adding and subtracting. So the first part of today's lesson are things that you have probably seen before and hopefully feel like a review. But then toward the end of the lesson, so page 34 and definitely 35, that stuff will be new. So the first two problems that we have are basic distributing problems. So we have one number outside of this one's a binomial, and on this one it's a trinomial. And all we have to do is multiply in that one number. So what we'll be doing is the distributive property. Up here it says to multiply polynomials, you use the distributive property. And a basic explanation of the distributive property is if you have a number outside of two terms, you have to make sure that you multiply each term by 3x squared. That's what distributing means. It means make sure that you multiply it to everything inside the parentheses. So just to keep track of what I'm multiplying, I like to draw arrows. You'll multiply the numbers together, so 3 times 5 will give you 15. But when you write your exponent, you count the number of x's that you have. So you have 2 here, then 1 more, so this would go to x cubed. So you multiply the numbers, you count the letters. So on this one, on the second term, I always just think about this as -8. So I don't say keep the negative and multiply the numbers, because when we go and do the harder ones, I think it's easier to think of this as a -8. So 3 times -8 would give you -24. And you would keep the x squared because you have 2 x's here, no x's here. Okay, next one is very similar. There are 2 differences. We're going to multiply in a negative, and we have 3 terms. So this is our first example of where there's not a number on the variable. What number is really there but hiding? 1. So -2 times 1 is going to give you -2. You have 1x on the outside, 2x's on the inside, so that's going to go to x to the third, or x cubed. Okay, on this next one, I would think about him as -8. So -2 times -8 is going to give you a positive 16. X on the outside, x on the inside, so that's going to go to x squared, or 2 in your exponent position. And then just like the -8, think about the 15 as -15. So -2 times -15 will go to positive 30, and you keep the x. That sounds familiar, true story? Okay, let's do a couple on your whiteboard just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Once we do the longer ones, I'll just have you do those on your table because they'll be too long for you to put up. Okay, that's your first one. So about 20. 10. 3. 2. Okay, show me what you're thinking and leave it up for a minute. Okay, Diamond, you gotta be with us. Okay, so first one is 12x cubed plus 8x squared minus 14x. Okay, let's just try one more of these because that looked really good. Let's do negative 6 x squared times 4x cubed minus 3. About 10. Five. 3. 2. Okay, show me. Okay, negative 24x to the 5th plus 18x squared. Okay, unfortunately or fortunately on this one, this multiplying polynomials is such an important skill for you guys to have if you're even thinking about going on to do any other schooling beyond high school, even trade schools. So as we move through this, if you guys aren't putting up whiteboards, I'm going to call you out. And if you're getting them wrong over and over again, I'm going to call you out because you need to know how to do this. And if you're listening, this is something that all of you guys can do. Everybody understands? Okay, the basics is what we just did. Now we're going to complicate it a little bit by having two terms outside of the set of parentheses. So up here, we just had arrows going over the top. Now we're going to have arrows going over the top and under the bottom to keep track of what we're doing. So this is called double distributing. So we start here at the first term, and we need to multiply this first term into both of the terms in the next parenthesis. So that's where we start. 5 times 2 is going to give us 10. X times x is what? X to what power? 2. Now we come back to 5x and we're going to multiply it by 9. So 5 times a positive 9 is going to give us a positive 45. And we have the x that we multiplied in. Now for this next one, I want you to think about it as negative 7. You are distributing in negative 7. I'm going to do my 2 arrows underneath, and I'm going to follow the same process. So negative 7 times positive 2 is negative 14. And we have 1x, so we're going to keep that. Then we come back to the negative 7, and we multiply it by the positive 9, and that's going to give us negative 63. Whenever you do the double distributing, these two middle terms now will combine. So these two middle terms, you can combine those. So we keep 10x squared, and then we have to combine positive 45 and negative 14. So what's that going to go to? 31? Is it positive or is it negative? It's positive. If you don't know how to do that, you get your calculator out and you're combining them, which means you can add them. So you would do 45 plus negative 14, and that will tell you that it's a positive 31. Okay, so keep the x, and then just drop down the minus 63. You're hanging in? Notice that your final answer is 3 terms. In some of your quiz questions today, instead of you typing in what you get here, instead of typing in the product, it's going to say to you, how many terms does your answer have? And you would type in 3. So we got to make sure that as we move through these, we talk about how many terms there are. Okay, next one. I'm going to go over the top with x, and I'm going to go underneath with negative 2. So on this one, I have x times x. That's going to give us x squared. Then back over here at the x, I have x times 5. That's going to give me a plus 5x. Underneath, we go negative 2 times x. That's going to give us negative 2x. And then negative 2 times positive 5 is going to give us a negative 10. Once again, you can combine these middle terms. Hopefully most of you guys can do that one in your head. If you have 5 positives and you combine it with 2 negatives, what do we have left over? 3 positives. Keep your x squared. Keep your minus 10. So the next one is very similar. I'm going to have you try it, and I'm going to walk around to see how far you get. So you're going to try this one just on your workbook. I'll come do one pass through, and then we'll check answers. Okay, I'm going to come pass through. Pretty good. Okay, so this one is slightly different in that when you multiply it out, your middle two terms cancel each other out. So you get a positive 6 and a negative 6. Those go to 0. So the best way to write that is 4x squared minus 9, because those middle terms cancel each other out. You guys okay with that one? You're sure? Okay, next one. So on this one, you have to be really careful, because what a lot of people think this is, and I'm going to write like not equals to there. If I have a red pen anywhere close, I'm going to, because this is not good what I'm about to do. Teacher, where's your red pen? You would think you would have 50 just laying around. This is not what you should be doing. This is bad. Most people think that this is 81 squared minus 4. Can you see where I'm getting that? Because they're taking this squared and they're thinking, oh, I just need to do 9x squared and 4 or 2 squared. But really what this is 9x minus 2 multiplied by 9x minus 2. You have to expand it out into the two binomials. This is like one of your quiz questions, so you may want to mark it. You're going to get one like this, and you're going to have to try really hard to remember not to do this thing. So this is like all of our other ones that are binomial, or double distributing. So you guys try that one and hold it up on your whiteboard this time. So let's do this one on our whiteboard. Be careful with your negative signs. I don't think I did that right. I didn't. Is 20 seconds enough? Roughly 10. Five, 3, 2. Okay, show me what you're thinking. Uh-oh. Okay, check before you erase. 81x squared minus 36x. You combine these in the middle. So if you were using your calculator, you do negative 18 plus negative 18. That goes to negative 36. So you're always adding the two middle terms. Are you feeling okay? For sure? Okay, the next one is very similar, except for instead of doing binomial, we're doing binomial trinomial, which means instead of having two arrows on the top and the bottom, you have 3 arrows on the top, and then 3 arrows on the bottom. And you have to be really careful about combining like terms. So I'm going to walk you through this one. The first one is x times negative x squared. That's going to give you negative x cubed. Then next up, x times positive 2x is going to give you plus 2x squared. And then for our last one, we have x times positive 4. That's going to give us plus 4x. So that's our first term. Now underneath, remember, we have to be careful that we know what we're multiplying in, and this time it's a negative 3. So negative 3 times a negative x squared is going to go to plus 3x squared. Then negative 3 times positive 2x is going to give us negative 6x. And lastly, negative 3 times positive 4 is going to give us negative 12. So each term gave us 3 underneath. I'm going to mark those. So this is from the x, and this was from the negative 3. So now we combine like terms. We go through and we check, do we have any other x cubes? Nope, so we just drop that one down. Then do we have any other x squareds? Yes. You have a plus 2x squared and a positive 3x squared. So that's going to go to positive 5x squared. Then next up, we have a 4x that we can combine with a negative 6x. That's going to go to negative 2x. And then last, we just have this negative 12 here hanging out on his own, so we bring him down. So the final answer on this guy is 4 terms. In Canvas, what this looks like on a couple of them is that you enter in the number that's in front of each set of variables. So here you would plug in a negative 1, positive 5, negative 2, negative 12. If you get confused on that, just have me come over during quiz time. Okay, so on number 8, it is basically the same as number 7, except for they give you the trinomial first. And I'm going to use this one as an opportunity to show you an alternative method to multiplying that may make you feel better about keeping track of the like terms. So I'm going to show you box method. You guys ever heard of that? Okay, so you're going to make a rectangle with 3 columns and 2 rows. And that's going to match up with the things you're multiplying together. So on top of the columns, I'm going to write these terms. So this is the one that has 3 terms. I'm going to write that right here. So I'm going to highlight that for you. I'm writing this trinomial across the top of my paper, or box, I mean. So 4x squared goes in the first column, or on top, I should say, sorry. Plus x goes over the middle. Minus 5 goes over the last. Now I made 2 rows because that's how many terms your second polynomial has. It's a binomial. So now I'm going to write those going down. So this is going to give me 2x on top and plus 1 on the bottom. And now you do this like old school multiplication. This box is these two multiplied together. So you have a 2 times a 4. That's going to give you 8. X times x squared is going to give you x cubed. Now this box is going to be 2x times x. That's going to give you 2x squared. And then the top right is going to give you 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Keep the x. Then you do the same thing with the bottom row. So 1 times 4x squared is just 4x squared. 1 times x is just positive x. 1 times negative 5 is just negative 5. You're hanging in? When you do box method, you always combine the diagonals. So now when you look at this, you can combine these two numbers and these two numbers. It'll always work that way. So now we know our first term is 8x cubed. Our second term is these two things combined. So 6x squared. Those are positive. Our third term is these two combined. So negative 10 plus 1 gives you negative 9x. And then our last term is the negative 5. Anytime there's a trinomial, I usually use box method. Anytime there's a trinomial, I'll use box method only because it helps me keep track of things better. I obviously know how to do it this way, but for me, this is better for my brain. Okay, let's have you guys try one. And you can do this one on your desk because there's so much that you have to write. You decide if you want to use box method or if you want to use distributing. So that's the arrows over the top and the arrows under the bottom. Sorry, I'm just trying to. Oh, that's too many. Sorry, fam. Redo. There we go. That's better. You can draw your boxes exactly the same if that's the method that you're using. You can do a 3 over the top and a 2 down the side. So you're just using your tabletop if you want. I mean, you could use your notebook if you really want to, but... Did I do this wrong? Oh boy. I'm coming to check on you. When you get done, you should have 5 terms. Five. Looking good. Need a little more time though. No, I'm getting 5. I'll go double check though. Am I done? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mine's wrong. Oh, teacher. You guys are getting 4? Yeah. Okay, let me redo mine real quick. Okay, I'll do mine real time with you guys so that you can check. So x to the 4th minus 14x cubed. Yes. Did you guys get a minus 14x cubed there? Yeah. Then positive 52x squared minus 35x. Holy moly. So this is one where you would enter in 1, negative 14, 52, negative 35. Or you would say, I ended up with 4 terms. Because you would have gotten it right. And I definitely would have gotten it wrong. Okay, flip the page. Oh, no, family. Huh? These are forever terms, I don't know. Trinomial will probably end up with 5 terms. Okay, so this time instead of a 3 by 2, and I'm only going to teach you box method on these. I am not going to teach you distributive method on these. So for these ones, I'm doing a 3 by 3, which means 3 rows, 3 columns. So I'm going to draw a fairly big box. Three columns. Three rows. And it doesn't matter which problem you write down first. So do you want to put 3x squared going down or across the top? What are you guys feeling like? Great. 3x cubed minus 9x plus 7. Then down the side, x squared minus 2x plus 1. Holy moly. Okay, on this one, I'm going to have to be really careful with my signs. When I mess up, make sure you let me know. Okay, x squared and 3x cubed is going to go to 3x to the 5th. X squared minus 9x is going to go to minus 9x cubed. X squared plus, or just kidding, multiply positive 7 is 7x squared. Middle row, negative 2 times positive 3 is negative 6. X to the, what's our exponent? 4. Negative 2 times negative 9 is going to be positive 18. X and x is going to give us x squared. Negative 2, positive 7 is negative 14. Keep the x. Holy moly. Okay, last row is a 1, thank heavens. So it's 3x cubed minus 9x plus 7. And now we got to try to find our like terms, right? Did I multiply all those right? As far as you guys can tell. Okay. So 3x to the 5th. That's our only x to the 5th. Now let's see if we have any x to the 4ths. We do right here. Negative 6x to the 4th. Do we have any other ones? Nope. Okay, now I find my cubes and I'm going to start highlighting just to help myself. So I have a negative 9x cubed and a positive 3x cubed. So those are going to go to negative 6x cubed. Okay, then I have x squareds that I need to look out for. So I have a positive 7x squared and an 18x squared. So what do those guys go to? 25. Then we got negative 14x, negative 9x. Those go to negative 23. And then plus 7. So we ended up with 6 terms. Holy shamoly. You're hanging in? Okay, I'm going to do number 10 down at the bottom because I write ginormously. So I want you guys now to try 10 without me. I know that these are a lot to keep track of. So I'll help you set up the box. I'm going to help you set up the box. And then I want you to try it. Okay, I'll zoom in on mine. I would wait to combine like terms until we check our box. So just get the inside of the box, and then we'll compare ours, and then you can combine like terms. Just try to fill in your box. We need at least a minute. I will pass through again. So don't just stop working because I'm not standing by you. I will come through one more time. Okay, I come through one more time. I would wait to combine until we check because I'm sure I follow. I'll unfreeze mine. If you think one of mine's wrong, let me know, and then you can combine. Okay, this time on your whiteboard, write down what you end up with. Write down how many terms you end with. So count up your terms and write that on your whiteboard. Okay, roughly 30. $20. $10. $5. 3. 2. Okay, show me how many terms you think it has. Si bueno. I got 5. So I color coded them this time and I ended up getting 5 different colors. Those ones are crazy. Okay. How I would do the next ones even though it's not trinomial, I personally still use box method. On the first one, though, it's easy not to. So when you have 3 polynomials, because in each of these we've only had 2, except where it's like a trinomial, that's why it ends up being so big. But notice on these ones, you're multiplying 3 polynomials together. So always start with the first 2. I'm going to highlight those. So what you start with is the first 2. So that's just a basic multiply situation or distributing situation. And we get x squared plus 2x. Now what you have to do is put parentheses around that and bring down this one that I left. So now you got to bring down x minus 4, and that just becomes a double distributing problem. So now this is a double distributing problem like we've talked about. So we go 2 over the top, 2 under the bottom. First term is x cubed. Second term is negative 4x squared. Third term, so now we're on 2x, multiplied by x is positive 2x squared. And then 2x multiplied by negative 4 is negative 8x. You can combine these 2 middle terms. So we end up with x cubed minus 2x squared minus 8x. So that one's not too bad. Would you guys agree? Next one's going to get crazy. So 15. Now it becomes more complicated because we start by double distributing. We start by double distributing. So you guys double distribute and write that answer on your whiteboard. You double distribute what I have highlighted in green and write that answer on your whiteboard. Give you about 40. $20. $10. 5. 3. 2? Okay, show me. Uh-oh, did you guys combine? Okay, so you should have plus 3x there in the middle. Remember? Okay, now we still have this. We still have this dang x plus 5 hanging out. So at this point, what I would do is make a box. And I would write now this x and plus 5 down the side. That's not a very even box I got going on here, but it'll work. Do you guys see what's happening here? You can double distribute that in if you want to, if you prefer that method. But I literally just draw the box underneath the trinomial and bring it down. Maybe I should pick names for this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick sticks on this one. You should have 4 terms at the end. We'll go roughly 45. $30. $10. $5. Okay, Britton, what do you think the first term is? Yeah. I got x cubed. Did anybody else get that? Okay, second term, Elizabeth, what did you get? Yep, I got plus 8x squared. Third term goes to Hugo. What did you get? I got plus 4x. Anybody else get that? What'd you guys get? What did I do wrong? Where? Oh, shizzlebots. So Hugo's right. Diamond, what'd you get for the last term? -20. I got that one right. Okay. So now we have one more of these. And it's the same as what we just did. We have to remember, though, that when you have a cubed out here, this is not 125x cubed minus 8. what you have to do is 5x minus 2 times 5x minus 2 times 5x minus 2. So you're going to multiply these two together first. Once you have that, you're going to make the box or double distribute, whatever you prefer. And you're going to put that last 5x minus 2 down the side. I'm going to pick sticks on this one too. So we're on this guy right here. Okay, I'm getting 4 terms. Those are your blanks. So see if you know what goes in those blanks. We got about 30. $20. 10. Ivani, what do you think goes in the first blank? 125x. Great. 125x cubed. My next term is a negative. Cheyenne, what did you get for the x squared? Okay. Did you guys get 150? Yeah. Sarah, what did you get for the x term? Say one more time. 580? I just can't hear you, babe. Oh my hell, Sarah. 60? Is that what you guys got? Okay. Last term, Zach, were you able to get the last term? Okay, tell me what it is. I got -8, but I could have done it wrong. Okay, well, at least you had the 8, though. Did you guys get a -8? Okay. Okay, one more idea, and it's related to this, and then you have the rest of the period to work on your quiz. So we just flip to this thing called the open box problem. So you have a rectangular sheet of plastic that's 12 inches by 20 inches. A small square of the same size is cut, and each is folded up along the cuts to form an open box. So let me grab one really quick so that you know what it is. This is what they mean by open box. So you cut out the square and then you fold up each side and it makes this box with no top. Is that making a little bit of sense? Great. So write an equation for the volume of the box. Well, volume is just length times width times height. So we're not going to let that bother us too much. Now, they tell us that the measurements are 12 and 20. So this one has got to be the 20 because it's longer. But notice on each end, I took out an X. So how many X's did I take out? 2. So this is, the new length is 20 minus 2X. It was 20 inches, but I took out these 2 X's to make the side of the lid. Well, it's the same for this guy then. If this was 12, so he's 12, but I took 2 X's out of him as well. Is that making a little bit of sense so far? Okay, well, now this is my length and this is my width. So my volume is 20 minus 2X times 12 minus 2X times, what is the height of our box now? What size chunks did we take out? X. The height is X. The X's that we took out here, they'll make it so that you can bend up the sides of your box. You feeling okay about that one? Was that a yes? You're sure? I'm just looking at this next one really quick. I think that's good. Do you guys think you'd be able to replicate this situation on your quiz? Because the next ones are hard, but I think this one's fine. Yeah, I think maybe just let you try it. True? Probably. Okay, if you have questions on, because your last problem is this open box problem, I'll come help you. But you're doing quiz, what quiz are we doing? 3-2.